Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of Sapient Thoughts, where we discuss theophilosophical issues, where we refute those individuals with their specious claims, those detractors of Islam and their arguments, and where we also make an argument for the veracity of Islam. Today, inshallah, we're going to be talking about a contention, a misconception, a misnomer, something which you'll find in some of the anti-Islamic websites or in anti-Muslim or anti-Islamic apologetics. The claim that, look, your religion, they say, is a religion which says that you have to go and drink the urine of camels and the milk and urine of camels. What kind of medieval practice is this? We have come a long way by way of pharmacology and medicine, and look, your religion wants to bring us back. Your religion wants to bring us back to the dark ages. This is what they claim, but is this a true claim? And what are they basing this claim on? They're basing this claim on a hadith in Sahih Bukhari, where some individuals came to the Prophet Muhammad having some kind of a disease and complaining of severe pain and torment from that disease. And they came to him and he advised them to go and drink the urine of the camel and drink the milk of the camel. Now, one might argue that this is completely, unscientific. And why would he do such a thing? Why would the Prophet Muhammad do such a thing? Is there any kind of scientific backing for this at all? Well, first and foremost, we need to understand that this hadith is not am, it's khas. It's not general, but specific. It was specific to those people in that time, in that place. I mean, if the Prophet Muhammad was in this time, in the 21st century, I'm pretty certain that he would have referred those individuals to the hospitals or to the pharmacies. But you have to remember that this was situation specific. So those individuals that came there, the question is, what might they have had? What kind of conditions might they have had? No, we can speculate. We can say that they might have had edema or some kind of fluid buildup in the stomach and in the liver. We can make those things because camel urine is rich in potassium and it's also rich in albumin. And quite frankly, urine is something which we find in some medication. I mean, Premarin is a medication which takes in as part of its one of the components of this medication is the urine of mare, pregnant mare urine. So this is not a foreign concept of using urine for medication. It's even today in the 21st century. But it's not to say that we as Muslims, when we're not suffering from anything and we have all of the facilitation by way of medical advancement in the 21st century, should be going and drinking camel urine and going to drink the milk of the camel as a way to try and alleviate our illnesses. And the evidence of this is so clear in the Quran. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلِ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Go and ask the people of specialism if you don't know, the Quran says, thereby giving authority to doctors. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ tells us to go to those reputable doctors. And he even says those مَنْ تَطَبَّبَ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ بِالطِّبِّ مَعْرُوفًا. And whoever tries to be a doctor and is not someone who is known in medicine or as a practitioner of medicine and he harms somebody or kills someone, then he will be punished for so doing. So there is clear redirection from the Islamic paradigm of going to those specialists, those medical specialists for our needs. So no, this is not a general kind of directive from the Prophet or prescription of the Prophet. In fact, even the medieval scholars like Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah make this very clear in their tracts, in their kutub, in their books about the prophetic medicine and so on and so on. That this is a specific kind of remedy for a specific kind of people in a specific kind of context. And yes, we can try and speculate as to what these individuals may have had and what that prescription, that so-called, if you want to pull it as a prescription, would have had by way of relieving effect to those individuals. So really, there's no way you can go in this criticism, because what can you say? That potassium and albumin and calcium, whatever is in the cocktail of prescriptions that the Prophet ﷺ told those individuals would have had no relieving effect for absolutely any disease that can come in. You can't make that claim, unfortunately. You'd have to be making that claim. You'd have to say, for you to have a kind of valid scientific argument here, if you want to call it that, you'd have to say that this cocktail of prescriptions that the Prophet gave to those individuals would have been useless in any disease that those individuals would have had. And that's an impossible claim, because we know that there are nutrients. They're nutrient rich, those things, that cocktail of things that we've just talked about, the camel urine and the milk. has potassium and albumin and other things. So unless you want to be brave enough to make a claim like that, which can be easily refuted, and has been, really, if you think about what I've just said, then I would say stop being immature. Urine is part of the drugs that we consume in the 21st century. This is not a way of disproving the Prophethood of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Really what this is a cheap way of trying to mock the religion of Islam and the Prophet of Islam. But the joke is on you, oh detractor, because the truth of the matter, the reality of the situation is that the Prophet and Islam gives us clear directives to go to those who are specialists in the field, including, of course, medical professionals. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.